You have to be aware is the density of amino acids. That is very important. Maintain the weight of the layers. That will be very important. And avoid oxidation of the layers. I mean, you have to start applying or to consider an antioxidant nutrition using, different type of additives that are on the market. But it's very important because that will help you to maintain the production of the shell.
Welcome to another episode of the Poultry Nutrition Blackbelt Podcast. I'm your host today, Kelly Walmsley, and I'm joined by Juan Espino. Hey, Juan.
Hello, Kelly. How are you doing?
Good. We're kind of continuing the conversation from another episode where we kind of just got into extended conversation talking about extended lay.
That was an excellent episode.
Oh, yeah. We've got some puns today. Well, so let's just kind of kick back into it on the conversation, okay?
Okay.
I like how I asked you about late lay and then an extended lay. And then you went and took me back to the very beginning too, but it's, that's kind of foolish of me just to jump to the end because, you do have to set the stage to make sure that layer, that lady's ready to go, and make sure that she can last the whole length of the lay, right? And be able, she's set up metabolically and a reproductive system. I mean, has that structure to be able to reach that high demand that we ask of them. So thinking about the arginine, and you said just being able to increase it a couple points. So you're talking about increasing your arginine ratio, your lysine to arginine ratio, and then are you also, or arginine to lysine ratio, are you also increasing, are you changing other amino acids at that time?
Remember that something that I've been applying with arginine is that arginine is a precursor of creatine, okay?
Yep.
Something that I've been looking, for example, at the end of this extended period is that you start looking at loss of weight in layers. So one of the hypotheses that I start to formulate here in the farm is what about start changing the ratio of arginine and trying to start identifying the dose that will be required to maintain the uniformity in the production. I'm not saying that you have to increase probably 20% more of that ratio. No, something that I've been doing is increasing slightly these numbers, and something that is the result of this investigation that we perform in the farm is that we start looking at an increase of weight, for example, of the layers. I'm not saying that the layers are overweight with this application. No, instead of that, we have been checking the breast, for example. And the breast, the result that we got is that we start looking at better uniformity before we start this experiment in our farm. So something that we start to measure was the breast, and that was very interesting because after the breast we start weighting the flock, and we see that we start looking that we got a better uniformity. Okay, we achieved that uniformity. I was as I was telling you before, I take this information for broiler breeders, and broiler breeders. One of the requirements is that you have to maintain uniformity in the female. So I start noticing that in long length periods of production, you start losing weight with these females. So it makes sense to start analyzing the application of arginine to produce creatine and to increase or to improve the weight or the uniformity of the layers. And I can show you that at the end we can see a very interesting persistency in this type of animals when I improve that uniformity in layers. It's something that, for example, the genetics doesn't tell you. They tell you that you have to start the production with that 85% of uniformity in the rearing. But at the laying period, no one says you that you have to maintain that 85%. Of course, if you maintain it, you will probably see persistency. And I mean, if it works in breeders, in in broiler breeders, I think you can take this information and apply it in layers.
Fortiva is moving beyond feed additives to create foundational ingredients that work with your poultry operation to support resilience and health. With proven technologies like FortiShell and VitaC Feedlock, Fortiva helps you address the toughest challenges in poultry production. From shell quality to feed biosecurity and more, together we can make animals more resilient in the face of future challenges. Learn how at fortivaimpact.com.
So in your talk, I mean, normally when you think about arginine too, you think about from its role in immune function. And so do you think that in some of those cases, you're able to kind of isolate it from being maybe, that a situation where these birds are at this higher stress, and then this added arginine is helping in those cases, or it's regardless? Have you been able to look at that kind of situation, or maybe to kind of isolate it and then detail it out that, okay, it's arginine and it's not just, potentially stress related. It's that it's helping, the bird.
Yes. Well, no, we don't. What we were measuring was uniformity. But of course, what you were saying is so true. Arginine is a very important molecule for the immune system, especially because it produces nitric oxide, for example. And nitric oxide is a very important molecule that promotes or stimulates, in a way, the immune system. Well, I can tell you. I mean, I've been doing a lot of trials, but in pigs using arginine, and I can tell you that, yeah, what you mentioned for example, and I know that it's not the topic right now, but for example, when sows are building placenta, they need an oxide nitric, for example. It's a very important molecule because these molecules start to regulating the DNA, the formation of DNA of this tissue, and it helps to, let's say, to avoid in a certain way the activation of this innate immune system. Okay, doing this information or extracting this information for our trials, I can tell you that probably it's the same thing with the application with layers, because nitric oxide is a very important molecule to regulate the replication of this innate immune system. And of course, if you use it, for example, for control heat stress, will be the same, because you are avoiding this activation because you have this biomolecule activating, or let's say stimulating in a anti-inflammatory way the immune system.
I think, yeah, that's interesting. I know that we can go on all day long probably, because yes. What I'd like to kind of dial it into is, as we conclude, is, if you could make one major recommendation for somebody to kind of to try to improve their production whenever when they are taking these birds into late lay, what is the one thing that you think that they need to look into?
I think that the nutrients that you have to be aware is the density of amino acids. So that is very important. Maintain the weight of the layers. That will be very important. And avoid oxidation of the layers. I mean, you have to start applying or to consider an antioxidant nutrition using, different type of additives that are on the market. But it's very important because that will help you to maintain the production of the shell. Remember that there are about 80 or 99, 800 or 900, I think, genes that regulates the formation of a shell. So, and these genes should be maintained in the time to allow you to produce a shell. So in a way that you keep this antioxidative nutrition, they will help you to maintain the information of how this shell is produced, because you're keeping the information, you're saving the information that helps you to produce the shell. Once these genes are eliminated or are oxidized, well, you are not going to be able to produce an egg, and you're going to see some problems with the shell.
Ready for more sustainable poultry production? New data suggests that decreasing bacterial loads in feed using Termin 8 supports enteric health, leading to improved performance. Gut health is more than a gut instinct. Learn more today at www.anatox.com.
And like you said, that's the currency of that's the whole point of being able to get the shell, and that's what we need to be able to get her into, and making sure that she's healthy is the most important thing, that layer. So,
yeah.
Well, thank you, Juan, for your time today. Appreciate. It's been a great time chatting with you, and we'll have to get you on for some other topics and in the near future.
Yeah, sure. I'd be glad to share with you all the information that probably I can share with your audience. Okay.